time is 1:15. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulates the President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene assumes duties. Foreign travel ban on Cabral further extended. The number of COVID-infected reported in the country has been increased. Fuel pass QR code system rollout delayed. Foreign news, Myanmar military executes 4 democracy activists. Local news in detail. Russian President Vladimir Putin has congratulated the President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Putin has emphasized that the long friendship between the two countries have been strengthened and it will be continued further. The Russian leader also stated that he will appear on behalf of the safety of the region and to enhance the bilateral relations between the two countries. The Russian ambassador in Sri Lanka, Yuri Martri, has notified the well-wishers of the Russian president to the Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe this morning. The Prime Minister's media division said that Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene assumed duties at the Prime Minister's office. Gunawardene was sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Sri Lanka before President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Friday. He had embarked on active politics in late 1970s and entered the parliament in 1993, representing the Maharagama electorate. He has held cabinet ministerial portfolios under various governments. Gunawardene has also served as the chairperson of 3 parliament select committees to identify electoral reforms and as the leader of the House and the chief government whip in the Sri Lankan parliament. The foreign travel ban imposed on former governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Nivart Cabral, has been extended until October 26, 2022 by the Colombo Magistrates Court. The court ordered this when the complaint lodged by former Southern Province Governor Rajitha Kirti Thinakon has taken up for hearing today. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Health, Specialist Dr. Hemanta Hera says that the reporting of cases of COVID-infected persons are at a higher level. Therefore, adhering to the health guidelines is essential. WHO said that the existing stocks of Pfizer vaccines can be used. It can be used as the 4th dose. Petroleum Corporation says that 7,000 metric tons of fuel will be distributed today. Out of this amount, 4,000 metric tons of diesel will be distributed, while 3,000 metric tons of petrol will be distributed amongst the Petco filling stations. The issuing of fuel under the National Fuel Pass or QR code system is expected to be carried out only at a few selected filling stations today as well. It had been previously planned to implement the system at filling stations across the island from today. However, the Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka, ICTRA, says that under the current situation, this will be implemented as a pilot project today as well. The agency also stated that it will take a few more days to implement the system across the island. Meanwhile, the Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Vijayasakara, said yesterday that the Fuel Pass QR was successfully tested at 20 locations island-wide on 4,708 vehicles. Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva says that most of the people have not proper understanding of the current economic crisis in the country. Therefore, he said that economic reform should be conducted speedily. The governments that ruled for decades have rejected such economic reforms. That ends local news. Moving on to main news story. Many valuable artifacts items at the presidential palace had been disappeared due to the entering to the palace by protesters on the 9th of last month. 3 persons have been taken into custody by Valikada police on stealing 40 brass bowls when they attempted to sell these items. It has been revealed that these persons were residents of Rajagiriya and found they were drug addicts. Moving on to Watchlight. It has been reported that the farmers in Mahavali Development Zone are facing many hardships due to the racketeers who mediate to purchase the products at low prices at the Mayurapura weekly fair in Hambantota. The farmer communities in the area have been requested the relevant authorities to remove such racketeers from the weekly fair. That came to you on Watchlight. Moving on to world news, headlines first. Myanmar military executes 4 democracy activists. Russian investigators says 92 Ukrainians charged. India's first tribal president set to take oath. Foreign news in detail. 4 democracy activists have been executed by Myanmar military in what is believed to the first use of capital punishment in decades. Former lawmaker Payu Zhao Tao, writer and activist Ko Jimmy, Hal Amayo Aung and Aung Tora Zhao were accused of committing terror acts. The executions, which were first announced by the military in June, drew international condemnation. They come in the wake of 2021 military coup. The junta overthrew the democratically elected government led by Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy in February last year, sparking a huge protest which was swiftly crushed. Moscow has charged 92 members of the Ukrainian armed forces with crimes against humanity. The head of Russia's investigative committee has said. Alexander Bestrykin told government news site Rossiyskaya Gazeta that more than 1,300 criminal investigations had been launched. He also proposed an international tribunal backed by the countries including Bolivia, Iran and Syria. Some 96 people, including 51 armed forces commanders, are wanted. He said the Ukrainians were involved in crimes against the peace and security of humanity, he told the newspaper. Draupadi Murmu, a tribal political elected as the India's new president, is set to take oath today. The candidate of the government governing Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, the 64-year-old former teacher, comes from Odisha. Orissa state has had a stint as a state governor. Ms. Murmu is the country's first tribal leader in the top post. The president in India is the head of the state but does not exercise executive powers. He or she is elected by the members of both the House of the Parliament and of the legislative assemblies of state and federally administered union territories. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Myanmar military executes 4 democracy activists. Russian investigators says 92 Ukrainians charged. India's first tribal president set to take oath. That ends headline foreign news. Moving on to development news. Reconstruction work of 39 small tanks in Hambantota district has been completed. Water facilities for several villages in the area have been fulfilled. That ends development news. Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Today is the second test match player between the Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Batting in their first innings, Pakistan team scored 15 runs for 1 wicket when the match is over for lunch. Sri Lankan team scored 378 runs in their first innings. More sports news. Under-20 football match between the Sri Lanka and Bangladesh of the SAF Football Championship will be held in India at 7 p.m. today. However, the match between Nepal and Maldives will begin at 4 p.m. today. This will be the first match of the tournament. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The apparel export income in the month of June was 537 million rupees. This is the highest income received from the export of apparel. The entire income from the apparel exporting during the first 6 months of this year has exceeded $2.8 billion. That ends business news.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10-second prize winners. iPhones for the 10-third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Minister of Trade has emphasized that there will be no rice shortage in the country. Minister Nalin Fernando said that there are sufficient stocks of rice until the forthcoming Maha season. That ends economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Moving on to weather report, the Met Department says that atmospheric condition is getting favorable for evening thunder showers in northern, north central, eastern and Ubon province during the next few days. A few showers may occur in western and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 mm can be expected at some places in central, north central, eastern and Ubon provinces. That ends with the report. To bring to an end the afternoon news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines. Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulates the President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene assumes duties. Foreign travel ban on Cabral further extended. The number of COVID-infected reported in the country has been increased. Fuel pass QR code system rollout delayed. Foreign news, Myanmar military executes 4 democracy activists. With that, we wrap up the afternoon news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Asanka.